everybody, welcome back, and today I have another tutorial for you featuring the Club Nebula palette, which is the collaboration between Kaleidos, and I apologize because I believe I said her name just embarrassingly wrong yesterday, Angelica Nyqvist. So I think I said Angelica Nyqvist. Guys, I'm so sorry. Let me know how to pronounce it below. I am a Texas girl living in Virginia. There's no hope for me, so I truly apologize if I said her name wrong. But I did a tutorial on first impressions on that video that went up on Monday, and this was truly a first impressions for me because I have no experience with this brand, had no experience with this formula. This is a brand new palette. So if you want to see kind of more in-depth thoughts on the formula, application, all that kind of stuff, I will link that up above if you want to check it out. I was really happy with that look. I've got to say, I think I like this one even more, but I did want to get another look up for you guys because this is a limited edition product. They're doing another restock per their Instagram. I just looked on 2/17, which will be the day this video goes up at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this video is going up at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that'll be going up, or it'll be going live, the limited restock at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you are thinking at all about getting this palette, just be aware because I think it's going to go pretty quick. The quality is just phenomenal. Plus this color story is beautiful. So again, in that first tutorial, I used this entire top row plus the Nova shade. Today, I just used these 5 shades in the middle row, and I've got to say, I'm so just in love with the look today. I think I might like this middle row more than I like the top row, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I have used all of the shades in here except for Celestial, Samus, Nebula, and Red Giant. So I need to get into those, but those are the only 4 shades I haven't used out of this palette. But I wanted to share this look with you just to, give you an idea if this is something you would be interested in, or if you just like the look and you want to recreate it with what you have in your collection, then definitely do that. But if you want to see how I got this look using the Club Nebula palette, then stick around. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I've already primed my eyes with my Lorac Behind the Scenes eyeshadow primer, and I've also just kind of cleaned up underneath my brow with my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. So we're just gonna go right into the palette. So first off, I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild Fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna go into the shade Naru, and we are just gonna start laying down the transition. And these are super pigmented, guys, again, so just be easy. I was a little bit more careful with my color selection this time, so it went a little bit more smoothly for me. I feel like I really have a handle on this formula now. And that's just one dip into the palette, guys. Beautiful, unique, kind of purpley gray transition shade. I really like this color. Now I'm just going to pick up a Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and we are going to go into the shade Rock Hopper. And we're just going to start deepening up that crease. And doesn't have to be precise, doesn't have to be perfect. This is just another really beautiful, cool tone purpley gray shade, or grayish purple. And I'm just gonna take this up and really blend it into Naru and soften it up. We are really trying to stay off the lid for the most part. We're not doing if it gets on the lid, it's not that big of a deal. We're not doing a really structured look today, but we really want that lid shade to shine. So just try and keep the lid as clean as possible. Picking up my E25 blending brush from Sigma, we are now gonna go into the shade Cylon, which is that deepest kind of grapey purple. It's not a cool tone purple. It's definitely, well, I don't know. It's kind of, seems like it's a more warm tone purple in the pan, and that just could be because of Red Giant is right next to it and it's kind of pulling it a little bit warmer, but once you get it on the eye, it's definitely neutral to cool tone. And again, we're just gonna really concentrate this in the outer V and then drag it over, just keeping it as much off the lid as possible. We're gonna just blend that up into Rock Hopper and Naru. And I'm gonna kind of do this S shape to kind of really get that cat eye effect on the outer corner of my eye. Going in with my Mash Flat Shader brush, we're gonna go into this shade right here called Astro. And I'm just gonna pick that up, and like I would do with any, it's just a habit, guys. I can't help it with any shimmery shade. I'm just gonna wet that down. I'm just using my Smashbox primer water. You just use whatever you have close at hand. And we're gonna just start painting that on the lid. This color. First of all, love the name. Second of all, this color is stunning. It is so, so pretty. We're just gonna take that from the outer lid all the way to the inner lid. Just really work that on. I'm gonna go back in, pick up some more, and just pat that over the shadow that we applied wet. I'm getting a little bit of fallout with the shade, but it's nothing too crazy. I'm gonna wipe off that same shader brush, and then I'm just gonna go into this shade right here called You're My Only Hope. Just kind of a purple, shifty shade. Again, I'm gonna wet it down, and then I'm just going to concentrate this on the inner third of the eye and right in the inner corner. It's not gonna change that shade too much. It's just gonna lighten it slightly so it kind of feeds into that inner corner. Just kind of creates a pretty subtle transition. I know this look is not subtle, but you know what I mean. Back in with that E25 brush, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Cylon, sorry, which is that deep purple shade. And we're just gonna pack a little bit of this on that outer V. Just very, very much staying towards the outer corner. Again, we're just gonna drag this over, blend it out. This glitter with this shade, unless you use a glitter glue, it's just gonna get everywhere, so that's fine. Once you've deposited that color, you can kind of just gently pat into that Astro shade to kind of blend the two colors together. Again, just blend it all up. I just can't get over how pretty this color is. Like, I really don't even care. Like I said, I have hooded eyes, so I could take my crease higher. Guys, generally it doesn't bother me, just for reference, if my shadows transfer up, just because I kind of like the way it looks. So it really doesn't bother me that much. But if it's something that bothers you, just, you know, do a half cut crease, take your crease up a little bit higher, however you prefer to wear your makeup. But this is just, it just doesn't bother me. I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush and more of that You're My Only Hope shade. We're just gonna reiterate this inner corner right here. All right, guys, I am going to use my Marc Jacobs gel liner in black and my Wet n Wild H2O proof, my Wet n Wild H2O proof liner to create a wing. I'm gonna do that and I will be right back. All right, guys, so I am back. I did my liner, I did my lashes, which, by the way, I'm using my Styles of Beauty Diane lashes, which are those quarter lashes, and they are the easiest freaking things to put on. I'm also watching Teresa's Dead while I'm in the middle of doing this this video. And can I just say, why did nobody tell me about her before? Because that bitch is funny. She cracks me up. She's got me rolling. But anyway, back to the tutorial. So I'm gonna go in with my BH Cosmetics. This is the V9 brush from the Vegan collection. And we are gonna go back in with Cylon. And we are just going to, I'm gonna do this in frame actually, like an adult. I'm just stamping this, kind of placing this along my lower lash line. If it's a little messy, again, that's okay, because we are gonna clean it up. I'm really just using that brush to place the shadow where I want it. We're gonna take that up into the wing on this side, which are not really matching today, but that's okay, we're gonna go with it. Picking up my Sigma E45 brush, I'm going to use this to just start blending this shade out. I haven't used this. I've had this brush for a while because I got it in a set, and I haven't used it because I'm so attached to my S06 brush from Coastal Scents, but this is really, really, really pretty. Speaking of that brush, we are going to pick up Raw Copper on the S06 brush from Coastal Scents, and we're going to start just blending this out. I'm just kind of smoking it out. This H2O proof liner from Wet n Wild is amazing. I mean, I could go swimming in that liner, would go nowhere. It's so good. I'm gonna go back in with that E45 and we're gonna go back into Cylon. And I really wanna make sure I reiterate this color along the lower lash line and the outer V. I do want a little bit more depth underneath that lash line, so I just took my eyeliner and I smudged just a tiny little bit right into my lash line. And I'm gonna go back in with that E45 and just blend it out. All right, guys, I'm just gonna throw some mascara on the lower lash line and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, so this is the finished look. I'm really, really happy with it. That Astro shade is just blowing my socks off right now. I can't stop looking at it. My monitor, I'm like, it's so pretty. But yeah, I'm loving this palette. So I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. I really want to do another look just with down here. I mean, I'm probably going to just be using this palette. Like, I mean, this is such an inspiring palette for me. And I think such a unique, colorful palette just because of the depth, because of the transformative shades that you have in here. The mattes are stunning, just so, so good. So if you were thinking at all about picking this up, I would highly recommend it. Again, it restocks tonight. This video will go up Wednesday. It'll restock tonight at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So just a heads up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. But let me know, are you guys interested in this palette? Are you going to pick it up? Is it something that's just not ringing your bell and you're going to pass on it? I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. But as always, thank you so much for hanging out and talking about makeup with me. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I will see you next time. Bye.